Hi there, my name is Lucy. Welcome to this little webinar. I'm really excited to have you here and I want to say thank you for clicking on one of my ads. I know that we've spoken to you as someone who's currently dealing with back pain and has probably been dealing with it for quite some time. So I'm super excited to have you here because for the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to give you as much info as I can to help you take your life from pain to performance. And then at the end of this, I'm going to give you the opportunity to book a free consult call where we can discuss how to use my 4-step method to take your life from pain to performance. I'm going to run through my 4-step method in this program. I'm going to show you how it's helped hundreds of women change their lives for the better. And I'm going to give you as much info, like I said, as I can that you can use to help you in your journey. Before we get started, I know there's going to be 2 questions you'll be asking yourself right now. The first one's going to be, is this worth my time? And then the second one's going to be, why should I listen to someone online? So I guess to address your first question, time is your most valuable commodity that you can't buy back. With that being said, I want you to take a second to think, how much time have you already wasted being unhappy, unhealthy, unfit, and in pain? The next thing I want you to think about is, are you satisfied with the results that you're currently getting in your health journey, your fitness journey, and your pain journey? I think we both know that if what you were doing was working, you probably wouldn't have felt the need to click on one of my ads. The last thing that I want you to think about is where do you see yourself in a year's time if nothing changes? You can carry on watching Netflix or scrolling through social media for the next 15 to 20 minutes, but that isn't really going to change your life. If you give me your full attention, then I can give you some real information that you can start using today, and this time next year, be in a completely different spot. So if you give me your full attention, I will give you a copy of the training notes, including this video with my 4-step program in it. And like I said, you'll also get that opportunity to book a free consult call with me where we can discuss how to personalize this program to you. But first I need you to promise that if you watch through to the end, you'll give me your full attention. And then like I said, I promise to give you real information that you can use, but you must promise to take action. Alrighty, to address your next question, who am I? My name is Lucy. I'm a sports and musculoskeletal physiotherapist by training. But the real reason I started this program is because I had my own journey with long-term back pain. It started when I had an injury when I was about 14 years old, and I struggled with it for well over 10 years. It flared up really badly a few years ago when I was a physio, but I was also training for the World Salsa Solos. And it really got in the way of my training. It got in the way of my health and fitness journey. And it really robbed me of the joy of competing. I ended up putting on over about 15 kilos. I struggled to get out of bed. I couldn't carry handbags. You name it. I was in a bad way. By the time I got on stage at the end of the year, I just felt like a total fraud. Not only wasn't I able to dance the way that I'd wanted to be able to dance, and I knew that I could, I also worked in the pain industry and I was struggling to deal with my own pain and had been for a long time. And it just really hit me that if I didn't make some changes now, then this was going to be the rest of my life. I was never going to be performing or feeling better than I was in my mid-20s, and my mid-20s right now was sucking. So I started to look into all of the treatment options that I had been offered. And I started to really question why they hadn't worked and why I hadn't got the results that I had wanted after years of searching. I also started to look at the treatments that I was offering my high performance athletes and how their lives and their training were different to what I was doing. Through that, I developed this 4-step method using evidence and using my clinical experience and using my own personal experience. I developed my 4-step Stella Squad method, and I've used it since then to not only change my life and take me to reaching new PRs in the gym, back training and dancing on a daily basis, but I've also used it to help my clients go from pain to performance. And so the vision for the Stella Squad and my company Stella Active is to change the perception of the pain treatment industry. I'm super passionate about helping people get control of their pain again, and also breaking down those misinterpretations and miscommunications that surround long-term pain and back pain. I also really am passionate about uniting women through strength training and making us proud not just of what our bodies look like, but also what our bodies can do. I truly believe that if you're healthy, fit, strong, and happy, you look good. Everyone wants to look good, but being healthy and happy are how you get there, in my opinion. So where does the Stella Squad live? The medical world is where we live when we are in pain. We drop down in there for pain medications, to see physios, chiros, doctors, specialists, surgeons, you name it. That is the medical world. Their job is to take you from pain to pain-free. or at least pain-free with restrictions. And so what often ends up happening is you get pain-free and then something will happen and you'll end up needing the medical world again because you're in pain again. Then as you can see in that next box above, we have what we call the performance world. This is where my athletes live, and this is where you strength train. This is where, you're lifting weights, you're training like an athlete, that sort of thing. And as you can see, there's quite a big gap between where the medical world lives and where the performance world lives. So the Stellar Squad 4-step method bridges that gap. So how do we use these 4 steps, and what are they? What are the 4 steps to change in your life? Before we get started, I just want to show you what some of the clients have said. So one woman said to me, for the first time in 8 years, I feel like I have control of my pain and I'm excited about the future. So I think it doesn't matter how long you have had pain for, there is hope of becoming pain-free with the right treatment, with the right education, and with the right support networks. So this lady had, like I said, she has back pain. She had back pain for over 8 years before she found an effective treatment through my 4-step method. Someone else once said, I never thought I would be able to go to the gym and feel strong again, and now the thought of that excites me. And I think that's a really big thing when you have back pain. I know for me this was a big thing. I felt like I'd lost all strength, not just physically, but also mentally. So the thing is with our first step, this is the step that most people are too scared to do, and because of this they will never change. It's really important that we understand that while your pain may not be your fault, fixing it is your responsibility. And so our first step that we have is our recognize phase. This is where we get the facts and we find the issues. It totally sucks, but it is completely necessary. It's about finding out who you are now so that we can create the person that you need to be pain-free, to be training hard, and to be looking and feeling your best. If we don't know where we are, we can't find out where we're going. It's like looking at Google Maps and not knowing which blue dot you are. So the recognize phase is encompassing that searching for where we are at the moment. The thing is no one is going to save you, but you can save yourself with the right information, with the right tools, and with the right environment and support network. Our next phase is what we call our repair phase. The thing is that having pain makes you really inconsistent. It makes you inconsistent with your sleep, makes you inconsistent with your exercise, your nutrition, your relationships, your career, everything. Pain kind of takes all of that away because it becomes a focus for us in terms of trying to make ourselves pain-free. The problem is that allows our pain to control us. It dictates how we function in life, how we deal with relationships, how we deal with stress, and how we eat, sleep, and exercise. The thing is that in order for our bodies to really thrive, we need consistency. We need consistent sleep habits, we need consistent nutrition, and we need consistent training. Without those, we are kind of setting ourselves the perfect storm for pain. So the repair phase is all about making sure that we put systems in place that allow you to become pain-free enough to become consistent again, and that consistency allows you to get on top of your pain further. So we start to break that cycle of pain making you inconsistent and your inconsistency creating pain. So like I said, this repair phase is about breaking that cycle. It's all about habit formation, the daily work, and creating an environment that doesn't let you fail. And I think that's a really key thing, is often when we deal with pain, we can become quite isolated, and that creates an environment that allows us to fail. With the 4-step method, that's a really big thing, is that we need to create an environment that's supportive and doesn't allow you to fail. So like I said, the Stellar Squad is all about thriving, not surviving, and that's where this next phase comes in. Typically, rehab programs miss this. This is the missing link, and this is our foundation phase. So the foundation phase starts to bridge that gap between the medical world and the high performance world. You see, like I said, in the medical world, you can get pain-free, but often what will happen is that you never address those inconsistencies or habits that allowed you to have pain in the first place. Because of that, you're going to be stuck in the cycle of needing medical intervention to help you assist with your pain. Otherwise, it's going to keep coming back. The next phase is that, like I said, that high performance world, they just don't have the capacity to deal with people with long-term recurrent pain. And so the Stellar Squad bridges that gap between the medical world and the high performance world, allowing you to become pain-free, but also start training like an athlete. And that'll help make sure that you should never really be slipping back into that cycle of needing medical intervention again. So the foundation phase is all about getting rid of our egos and just building up really solid foundations. It's not the most fun thing in the world, addressing our weaknesses, but we've got to make sure that those weak links are addressed, not just in how we train, but also in how we, how we eat, sleep, and interact with those around us in our environment, because pain and health are more than just how we move. Health and pain are both multifactorial and quite complex, and if we don't look at other facets of our life, then our training is never going to be on point. When you look at athletes, they don't just go out and train really hard for 2 hours every day. They eat well, they sleep well, they manage stress, and they manage their environment and those around them. After we've got our foundation phase, we go on to what's called our evolution. The thing is in order to get better, we must evolve. So this is where the fun begins. This is a really fun phase. Growth doesn't happen without struggle. And the journey isn't easy, but it is 100% worth it. So evolution is, like I said, it's really fun. This is where you're training like an athlete, you're eating like an athlete, you're performing like an athlete, and your habits are really solid and sound. We are pain-free at this point, and we are going for gold. So you see, the thing is everyone wants an Olympic medal, or they want to lose weight, or they want to be the strongest, but they're not necessarily prepared to put in the work. And when you have pain, that can feel like an even further far off goal. So the evolution phase is all about that reflection point. We look back on where we've come from, and we start to make sure that we've got all of those habits in place that are not going to let us slip back into that. So it's going to take us from sitting just above that medical pain zone to being free from it, and you'll be performing, looking, training, feeling like an athlete. So if this has been worth your time, and another 10 or 15 minutes is worth it to become pain-free, then I want you to click the link and book a call to discuss how we can personalize this program to you. The calls will only last about 15 minutes because there's quite a few of you, and there's only one of me, and spots do go quickly. So if you see a time slot available, then please grab it quick. If there are none left, then it means that we are fully booked, but please join us at the Facebook group, and you can join us when we have a spot later on. So I hope you have found this useful, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.